Uh-huh. There it is. There it is. There it is. There it is. What's going on with it? I almost spilled the damn coffee. They gave me this eco-friendly cup. It's yeah, it's eco-friendly, all right. And they be dripping a lot. Pause. It drips a whole lot. Like unnecessarily, man. Hey man, we repping it today, man. Devin Witherspoon, man. We got that Devin Witherspoon cornerback. Today is a 49ers versus Seahawks weekend. It's one of them weekends, man. For those that are like NFC West rivals and shit, it's really an important thing for them. I don't give a damn, personally. I think part of me is like, whatever. The thing is, I'm one of those people that I'm rooting for the Seahawks. I'm from Seattle, so I root for the Seahawks. But on the other hand, it's like, people want to sit there and fight other fans and get in beefs and throw hands with people and choke someone out that's on another team or a fan of another team. But it's like the players of the team and the staff and the whole organization, they don't even know who you are, and you're just acting a fool at the arena. Now you're banned for life at the arena because you want to act a fool for a team that nobody knows who you are. And I ain't mad at that, but that's the power of sports. That's what sports will do to you. So be careful with that shit. Right now we are at TTH 241. 241. TTH 241. Yep. Hopefully that shows on the screen here really well. Let me sure. you know Another thing that's been throwing me off is I've seen people uploading a lot of their videos where they're in their cars and stuff, and a lot of things are reversed. So when I'm looking at the screen right now, it is currently reversed, but I think it'll fix itself, and I have to get used to going the horizontal. For those that are noticing, we are finally yeah, we're going horizontal. Why not? Because it's funny, I got so accustomed to shooting in vertical. A lot of it was because the majority of the content was Beyblade stuff, so I was doing majority Beyblade stuff in vertical vlog format. And not that it was a bad thing, but the thing about it was I have a long form video that's vertical, and I get to splice up pieces of it and turn it into shorts. So I could turn it into YouTube shorts because the whole thing was vertical already. Maybe throw a filter on it, just throw some music over it, things like that. So, but then I realized, like, I'm no longer creating the shorts. I'm not really even creating the shorts for the truancy hours that I was doing. Someone probably will do, can crop it and do it for me. I mean, I'm not encouraging people to do it. I don't care if you do it. Just give me my credit. Just put in the description, just like, hey, for more of this shit, go to this channel here. The reference is this full video here. Just give me some credit. But other than that, yeah, this is just what it is, man. So in the background, we got, like I said, this is kind of what the setup has always looked like. You've always seen me on that side, so I ran vertically, literally like a couple steps to the left, on the other whiteboard on this side. So the whiteboard right here, this is the corner one that I'm used to sitting at, and yeah, this is a little different. Lady outside, I don't know what she on. Let's see what she talking about. Hold on, man. Let me make a couple adjustments here, because your boy over here uploading a video, utilizing time, and I got the plastic duck simulators in the background. But this is what the workspace looking like, man. This is all I can really tell you. It's looking like this. It's always been this way. You understand? It's always been this way. So you always see me right here. You always catch me right here. But I like to start it off by keeping it reminding you guys, as much as we're doing all these. Actually, I don't know, man. We might end university mindset here. The more I think about it, I might end university mindset. That might have been the last one, was 240. I told myself I'd wear one more suit, but I thought about it as like the amount of time that I spend explaining it. I think y'all get the point. The first 40, first 40 bop was the true of the truancy hours, of the pre-recorded ones, at least, like right here. In this 200 section, it was university mindset, and I'm making an executive decision in this moment. As I'm saying it right now, I don't want to. I'm tired of talking about it. I'm tired of discussing it. I'm here. I'm here. You understand? I'm here. So whatever that looks like, whatever that sounds like, whatever that means to you, however it's interpreted, what's wrong with me leaving it to you guys' imagination? And if your imagination is negative, you can get the fuck from by me. It's that simple. So we're gonna just talk about my day before I get into the topic at hand. I went to the coffee joint, man. I stopped by that coffee shop over there before I transferred over here this direction, and then walked up inside this building. But yeah, it was interesting. Lady was like, "What's your name again?" And I told her, I was like, "It's James." She's like, okay. She got the order down. It was just the 16 ounce 16-ounce Americano right here. So we got the 16-ounce Americano. And then I was like, what was your name again? I don't remember if I got your name. And she said, I'm not going to spoil it. She said her name, and it's the name of the cafe. I was like, oh, so this is your thing. He's like, yeah, this is my. I was like, okay, that's good to know. That's going to be very easy for me to remember. He's like, it's going to be hard to remember your name. But I see your face all the time. I was like, that's okay. It's a very common name. So, but it was so busy this morning that we just chatted up and did small talk, and I felt bad. I thought that I was holding up the line. She's over here chatting it up with me, and I'm like, oh. And then the moment I got her name, it was funny to me because I'm like, oh, this is your business, so you're taking your sweet time, and you're also giving your barista on the side a breather. So that's when I realized like everything was all good, everything was sweet. You understand? Everything was really good. So I was like, that's a dope. I'm assuming a little bit, but I'm making the best guess here, where I'm like, she really gave her barista a break by simply just talking to me, and she really wanted to catch up. She's a really good and nice person, and she wanted to kind of just catch up. Is this? Hold on, man. That's so and so. I'm walking out there and whooping his ass. Let me see something, man. That might be him. I might have to go there and whoop his ass. I don't know if that's him though. It looked like him. There's a dude that used to work in this building here. Actually, the building next door. Not this exact building, but he used to work in the one next door. If that's him, I'm going there to whoop his ass. I'm gonna just walk over and be like, hey, come over here real quick, and I'm gonna bring him on camera. I'm gonna whoop his ass low key. Um, I don't think that's him. That's somebody else. Yeah, that's the other thing too, man. I've been kind of struggling with. I will say this is like, your boy been over here dreaming of fights, man. I can't wait to just whoop someone's ass for fun. You know, on some funny shit. Just on some funny shit. Some real funny shit right here. So we'll see about that, man. If that's him, though, I hope he come over this direction so I could just swing on him, get him out of here. The other thing, too, is I've been working out at the house. We got these weights, these free weights that just sit around in the living room. My brother uses them all the time. And I sat there and I went there. It's like 50 pounds each, like each, what do you call this, dumbbell. You know what I mean? Because the bar itself is like 5, and then it's like 45 on each side or some shit like that. It's like 10, 20, 20. Oh, actually, no. It's 25 on each side, so it's 50. And then the bar itself is about 5, so it's like 52 or 55 pounds each. And I'm over here just doing these, you know what I'm saying? Just stood up straight, you know what I'm saying? Just isolated, boom. I sat there, bent over, did the rows, sat there, did my curls, went across, and then I went this way, forward. Going across, kind of, it was hard because I didn't, the only workouts I've been getting in is like at work, just working out at work. And I'm like, you know what, man? I'm only been able to work out at work, and I haven't been able to like work out intentionally. You know what I mean? Doing an intentional workout where I'm just kind of, you know, doing my thing. Is this him? Hold on, I gotta double check, Brave. That's him. Nah, that's a whole other person. I think. That ain't my guy. His ass I need to whoop. That ain't him. I'm sad about that. Cause I just like, you know, you pumping iron, you're working out. You know what I'm saying? The testosterone's over here, pumping and shit, pause. And then it make you want to hurt somebody. It's a fucked up thing, man. It's a fucked up thing. So But this is the update. This is what life is like right now on the 17th of January. Your boy wants to just update you on things. This is just 49ers Seahawks weekend. 49ers people are in town. Everybody rocking their best Seahawks jersey or just their best Seahawks gear. We Seattled out right now, you know? And, motherfuckers are looking for a fight. And I'm in that same mode where I'm like, I really walk down the street and stalk the shit out of somebody just for the hell of it, and that's not good. That's not a healthy thing to do. That's actually not a nice thing to do. I don't promote that. But I can't act like on some man shit, I don't feel that. Pause. I can't act like that. So that's just where my mind and my mental has been at. It's really interesting. I still have this lingering feeling sometimes, like before I leave America, because my plan is to leave America and live in a different country. There's certain things that I feel like are undone. Like there's certain people that need to, like, how about I just, I don't want to give people a piece of my mind. I ain't got time to be explaining shit and talking all day. Let me just fuck this person up. Let me just whoop their ass. But like I say, on a spiritual level, on a soul level, I know that that ain't right. I know it's like to go down the path of just like, just keeping it, I ain't gonna necessarily say peaceful, but just keeping it righteous is the hardest path to do. And like walking the hardest path, whether that be the righteous path, for some people that would be the Jesus path, for other people that would be a Buddhist path, for other people that would be just a very, godly, godlike path. That's like the really hardest thing to do. That's a real G right there. You're a real G if you go in the most righteous way and keeping your hands to yourself as much as possible. You handling your business, you talk shit, you bark back at people and let them know. That's some G shit. G shit isn't always like throwing hands and shooting at people. Shooting at people before you throw hands is a bitch shit. That's another thing that people forget. You people think that you a gangster because you shot a gun. It's like, yeah, the bitch ass motherfuckers got guns too. So bitch motherfuckers shoot guns all day. They pull out knives. They pull out weapons before they use their own hands. Before they just get beat up and take a loss like a man. But on the other side of it, it's like I've met my whole life people that they're not necessarily pacifist, but they are people who are a little more they're a little more meek, or they're a little, some people will say that they're pussy, they're weak or whatever, but at the end of the day, they stayed about their studies. They stayed about their studies. They stayed about, just what's it called? They stayed about their studies, man. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? They just stayed about like studying shit. That's all it was, man. They didn't care about, oh man, these people beefing, these people my apartment complex, these other people doing this, then the third. They didn't care about that bullshit that was going on. They just stayed about studies, going to school, going to work, making stuff happen, taking care of their family, feeding them, taking care of the yard, taking out the trash, all the essential, just being a human being or being a citizen of your city, county, country, you know what I'm saying? Whatever, state. Like, just being a human being. So a lot of that righteous shit, it goes over people's heads. People think like, oh, that's such a basic life, but it's like, trust me, man, if you could balance all that and then look at the rest of the world, the people who are a little more successful or things fell into their lap or they just have a little more drive than you, if you could look at that shit and then just be kind of confident and secure with who you are, it's a beautiful thing. But here's the thing: if you're doing all that and then you flaunting it like you're a better person, you flaunting that shit like, yeah, see, I did all things the right way, the righteous way. I'm a better person. If you start flaunting it, then you're doing it wrong, bro. You're doing it wrong right away. You understand? You're supposed to do it because things are functional. I knew a relative of mine. This guy wanted people in his house, and don't get me wrong, just hear me out. He wanted people in his house to recognize that he was doing the most, helping them, and all that shit. And I was like, at some point I told him, I was like, who gives a fuck? Like, you doing what you're supposed to do. You want props for doing what you're supposed to do. You want props for taking care of the elderly. You want props for feeding people. You want props for doing the shit that you're supposed to be doing anyway. Like, you're supposed to be doing that shit anyway. You understand? If someone's handicapped, someone's old, somebody fucked up, somebody miseducated, somebody's uneducated, and you helping them out, you're supposed to be doing that anyway. You want props because you did that? Oh my God, I'm a whoop de wop, I'm a real motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? All that stupid shit. It's like, oh yeah, yeah, okay, you recognize your value, but now you're over here telling people that they should value you. No, it don't work that way, unfortunately. That's the fucking funny part about it. It doesn't work that way, unfortunately. Like I say, I'm very mindful of men's mental health. I mean, I'm very mindful of my own. But I will say, man, it's like, you got to think about that shit, bruh. You got to really think about that shit. Motherfuckers want to congratulate themselves for doing what you're supposed to do. I say this all the time, man. I say it as a life lesson, man. I dropped 10,000, 10 to 15,000 on my mom's funeral costs, and then my brother, and my cousins covered the rest and shit. And I was like, I bring it up all the time, not to flaunt it, but to just let people know, like, hey, these are the cost. That's what it costs, man. So if you're ready to bury somebody, just know you got to be that ready for it. You should always be that ready for it, especially if it's a parent. Just be ready for that. People, we be spending our money on dumb shit all the time. And just be mindful that, there's gonna be a time and place when you're gonna have to bury a loved one. And if they don't have their shit situated, they haven't been doing the payment plans for a funeral home. Nobody does no fucking payment plans to a funeral home. Barely anyone thinks about their life and how it's gonna end. It's like, I'm gonna have 5 years to pay off this funeral home, for all the payment, for the payment plans of my burial and my ceremony and my headstone and all that shit. Like, ain't nobody thinking of that shit. Nobody's thinking of that shit. But it happens, and that's how some of these funeral homes make money. I mean, the people who worked at us at the funeral home, they were these directors and stuff, directors and what do you call this? Directors and funeral directors, the embalming people and all that stuff. They were actually really nice people. They actually worked with us really well, and they made sure to go step by step through each process. There was a lot of stuff I didn't understand, and the guy patiently sat down and talked to me. He patiently reassured me a lot of things. He let us know about the burial stuff. He said, you can contact us at any day of the week, anytime. If you ever want to check on the actual plot, if you want to check on the whatever, you can check in with us all the time. And he said, we they purposely don't have a fence on their funeral home because they want people to always be able to access it on foot, drive through. Like, it's not one of those gated places where, imagine like there's a gated cemetery and then they bury somebody, and then once everything's closed off, they start going back digging up the casket again, and they just throw the body in, and then they reuse the casket. Some people do that, apparently. That's kind of crazy, but they kept theirs open, and I realized they're a very honorable place. So I give them those people a lot of credit, because everything is a hustle, everything is a game now, and people be playing games with people. So I give them people credit. But anyway, I say it all to say, like, it's not to flaunt the money. It's to say that, hey, man, you could work your whole life trying to get to 5 figures, finally touch base with it. And then when you want to do the righteous thing, you just got to do it. And it'll set you back. And that's fine. You understand? I want to let people know, like, I've been in them vulnerable situations. I've been in them mentally vulnerable places, spiritually vulnerable places. And you can all do it too. Like, I ain't trying to flaunt it, but I'll never go up in people's faces like, you imagine I dropped this much money and I did these things right. I was like, nah, man, we did that because, that's what she wanted. My mom always said she wanted to be buried in the Philippines. I was like, damn, mom, we can't afford to fucking ship the whole body over there. And I don't even trust them motherfuckers. Fuck them over there, man. I don't even know. I never met them. I don't even know what they on, bro. She left the country for a reason, man. She came over here because she's like, yeah, them people be corrupt, always asking for money and some funny shit. I was like, well, then fuck them anyway. So we're going to bury you right here. That's how I felt. You know what I'm saying? That's how I go. That's how that go, man. I thought about that shit, Like I said, excuse me, university mindset. We shutting all that down. Not in a bad way, but it's just university mindset. It had its time. I just feel like I'm done with it. I'm tired of I really enjoy and I love explaining it for 10, 15 minutes. I really enjoy that aspect, not in a I just enjoy it. I really enjoy if you give me 10 to 15 minutes, I'll explain to you university mindset. I'll do it all day, every day. You understand? I'll do it all day, every day. I'll sit there and I'll just boom. You know what I'm saying? We talk about that shit all day. It don't matter to me. But I will say it's not necessary. You understand? It's just not necessary. It's we don't need to, I don't like I covered it for 40. I just kind of hit a point where I was like, Mirror, I'm not even like in the mindset personally to do that anymore. I think I ain't gonna say I've elevated necessarily, but I'm up enough now where I think I'm good. What the hell? Is that Isaac? Maybe not. Nah, it's a rando. I be thinking I see people, man. Yeah, that's another thing, man. You got people up that be in town sometimes. They don't even hit you up, bro. It's like, damn, bro. You know where we at? You know what we on? You know what I'm on? But yeah, one thing I will say too, man. I've been thinking about this. Someone at work brought this up, and I realized he was speaking about himself, and that shit kind of cracked me up. He actually used himself as an example, which cracked me up too. He said, man, you be around people and they start talking and all of a sudden they bring your energy down. And it's like, damn, man, I can't even be around you, man, because, you bringing my energy down, bro. Every time I talk to you, it's just like, damn, I got a headache. And then when I leave, I don't feel so good. I was like, yeah, I know a couple people like that. I know a couple people that always be on some bullshit, never needed to be on some bullshit, but they look for some problems. They be looking for problems out there. You understand? They be looking for them problems. You know, hands in the pocket, just listening to them. Like, all right, that's the shit you on. That's what you talking about right now. And that's the thing is like, I be in America long enough, and all that shit rub off on me. Pause. You know what I'm saying? That shit starts to affect me. And really, I ain't gonna say get to me, but it'll sit there and it'll affect me, like whether I know it or not. I think about that a lot sometimes, man. You know, he started explaining that shit. He said, "Yeah, man, it's like if you went around me and I started talking all day about some bullshit, telling you about some negative shit, and you like, damn, bro, you bringing my energy. And if you told me I'm bringing your energy down, and then I kept doing it to bring your energy down, that'd be wrong. I'd be like, yeah, you're not right. I mean, you're not. I said, he right. He's not. He's right. He's right. And I thought about it. I was like, there's times where I'm around him, and he do be saying some shit where I was like, hey, Loki, he does be saying some shit. Like he's half and half. Like he be hella positive one second, and then another second he has some negative shit. So I was like, bro, when I recognized that in him, I was like, me recognizing that in him is me having to admit that I'm probably in the same boat where like I realize, all right, if I could, because what do they say, man? It's like you don't perceive the universe as you see it, you perceive the universe as you are. So the fact that I seen the dichotomy and the, I'm saying, the, what would you call this? The, dichotomy is a big word. So I'm trying to think of a better word, like the, what do you call this, bruh? Hold on, man. The good, the bad, and the ugly. We'll just put it like that. When you start seeing the good and the bad and the ugly in the universe, and you're able to recognize it and relate to it, that's when you start realizing, yeah, there's some stuff within yourself that maybe you might want to re-examine, if not self-dissect, things like that. So that's just one of those things where when he started saying that, I started thinking like, yo, he acting like he pure, but I realized like, oh no, he's not acting like he's pure. He's just being honest about himself, and he's being honest about like as honest as this guy is, he's such a positive dude. At times, he also has moments where he kind of just brings the energy down. And I was like, you know what, man, the fact that I'm perceiving this shit within him, I just have to be honest within myself. Like that's probably who I am. I have a moment like, like right now, I just looked at the camera. I mean, not the camera. I looked out the window to see if that's whoopty wop because I need to whoop his ass, and I'm hoping that's him so I can just start swinging on him. Bring him in, drag him into this room and start, you know what I'm saying? Hitting his head. Pause. And people will think that's just a negative, but it's just like where my mind and mental's at. And in my mind, I want to just be honest and open about that, right or wrong. You know what I'm saying? So that's another thing I kind of want to touch base on is like, the need to be open and honest about things is how necessary is it? How necessary or unnecessary is that? You understand what I'm trying to tell you? Like, is it really that necessary? Is it really that necessary for people to really just always be open and honest about everything? Do people need to know the complete truth, no filter? I always use Miss Pat as an example. One, she's a woman, so it's like people gonna keep their hands to themselves naturally. But two, she's so motherly and honest about people. She'll tell you ain't shit. She'll probably tell you stink, but she's such a comedian and fun about it and open and honest about her own traumas that you're like, you know what, man? You just be telling the truth how it is. You even talk about your own pain and your own hurt. You run into people like that. Like they just, you would think, oh, this some real motherfucker. He keep it real all the time. He just say what's on his mind. Nah, some people just rude. Some people just rude like that because when it comes down to being open and honest about themselves, they wouldn't have that same brutal honesty. They wouldn't have that same brutal joking. You understand? So I use, a lot of times comedians are dope because it's like as much as they're having fun and they're making light of their own pain, a lot of it is like, a lot of us relate to this pain. A lot of women probably relate to Miss Pat's pain. A lot of people who have a mom like Miss Pat, the way I did, she brings a level of comfort sometimes. Sometimes we listen to Miss Pat, we just be laughing our asses off like, man, that's like my mom. If my mom was born and raised in America, it'd be just like Miss Pat. Shit funny as hell, man. So, it got me thinking, man. That shit just got me thinking, bro. It's like, that shit's important to me. That shit's important to me. Just being able to, like I said, back to the balance of like, the dichotomy, if you will. There's a better word I'm looking for. The comparisons, if you will. The yin and yang. You know what I mean? The being able to laugh at pain and pain creating a joke moment, shit like that or whatever, and the fact that people have positive and negatives about themselves, and it let me realize like seeing the imperfections in someone else helped me recognize my own, maybe not to the T, but like just I realized I started seeing certain imperfections in people, like certain coworkers. We got a coworker that I said this last time, everybody dunks on him. And at some point it's like, yo, he's an idiot, man. He a dumb person, and it's like I understand why everybody makes fun of him, and everybody's like, bro, you need to shut the fuck up. I understand why they talk to him like that, why they deal with him like that, but at the same time, I'm like, you know what, man, he really trying. Like it's just just moments where like he's so stupid, but he's just really trying to relate to us, and he has nothing that can really relate to us, so he's just bringing up random shit, and then he just interjects with the dumbest shit, and then just kind of fucks up the whole flow of the overall conversation. Even if like older people are speaking, he act like he can participate in the conversation. I was like, man, let that old man speak, man, because one, that old man probably never had no one to speak to back when he was 20, back when he was 30, back when he was 40, and now he finally getting to talk to us. I'll sit there and listen. He not my elder, like I'm not related to him, but I'm gonna listen because I'm like, hey man, I know nobody want to hear this shit, but I tell you what, I listen to that shit, and it be some bullshit too, and it's all love. But everybody dunk on this bruh, and it's like he the slowest to figure shit out at work. He the slowest in moving, but I'm like, man, he really figuring shit out. So I have no reason to not cheer for him. And here's the funny thing about it: based off of the man's personality and the way he is, and the moment he comes up in life, I already know that he probably gonna forget that I rooted for him. But that's not the point, man. Just understand, like that's just who I am. If I see some bullshit, I'm gonna be like, you know what, bro? I don't, because that's my thing, man. I don't like to kick people when they're down. Somebody's down, I'm not gonna run up and kick them. If I see someone getting jumped and they probably deserve to get jumped, well, it depends. Okay, hold on, it depends now. If someone's getting jumped, I'm not gonna jump in. I'm just gonna be like, damn man, y'all need to stop. Just getting the man the 1-on-1. Now, I give you the situation. My brother and his homies, I guess they were sitting at Cal Anderson. They were just smoking and shit. They were smoking, and then they saw like a whole horde of people just running. A couple of people close to his age, a little bit younger. Young bulls running up, bah, and they found a dude. They just started boop boop boop. They started whooping his ass. They started jumping him. They're like, damn, what the fuck was that? Damn. So this at the Cal Anderson. This is years ago. Like, what happened? What happened? He said, yeah, we just jumped that dude right there. He's over here trying to grope women. He's over here trying to grope on women and talk to him crazy. He tried to violate a female over there. So then they started whooping his ass. Okay, that dude deserved to get his ass whooped. But normally, if it's a fair fight, just give the man the fair fight. Don't be, if dude's a pedophile or like a rapist or like a fondler or some shit, we gonna whoop his ass. Everybody should just jump people like that. People that violate women, jump them people, man. You understand? That's some other shit too, man. That's a whole other thing. I'm over here. Your boy just bantering. Right now. You understand? But yeah, that's some other shit right there. Hey, we getting back to the essence and the root of the Truancy Hour, man. This is what it's like sometimes. Some days it's like this, where we fucking around. Hey, there's a fine line, man, because my God, I met a couple. I met like I'll say it like this. I met one girl. She let me do whatever to her, bro. It's the weirdest shit. Cause I'm over here trying to be a gentleman. I'm just sitting here being a gentleman, and then we argued one time. We argued, and then we damn near like hate fucked each other. And I was like, hold on. And I realized she liked that shit. And I realized like, damn, so I could just be myself. I could just boom, hit her rough. I'm thinking she a nice girl, a good girl. Come to find out, you start hitting her rough and doing it all kind of crazy. She liking that shit. And that, ever since I did that to her, she been always be sending me texts and goofy ass shit. And I'm just like, I can't even deal with you like that. That's crazy. I knew you was nasty. You just really showing me. And she was ready from the beginning. She acted like she didn't know shit. She was like, teach me how to do this. Show me how to do that. And then when she started doing it, I was like, man, you already know what you're doing. She already knows what she's doing. So anyway, there's a fine line sometimes, man. What they call that is kinks, I guess you would say. So we don't kink shame people. People are into what they are into, man. Some people be fucking with the butt play and all that weird ass shit. Pause. You know what I mean? So the people just, some girls like to get throat fucked. Some girls like to get taken advantage. All this crazy shit. The point I'm making with that is like, be careful. Because you could be so comfortable with a girl who's like hella nasty and crazy, and then you try to go to the next girl and she's like, I don't even do all that. Because that happened to me one time. I had a nasty one. We doing our thing for hours throughout the day. If the amount of hours in the day is free, the amount of time in the day is free, we doing our thing all day. It ended up with a girl like years later after that. She's just not trying to do all that. She's like, I just need about 20 minutes. I don't need all that. I'm like, 20 minutes? Like, we ain't doing shit. We should be doing each other. That's my mindset. But some people like, they want whatever. That's another thing too, man. I'm getting real good at, like, like right now, it's the weekend, man. You calling up a bitch, I could just be like, I was like, no, we got to record these videos. You know what I'm saying? Because my mindset is we got to get a month's worth of content down within every week. If every week you did a month's worth of content, think about that, bro. Really think about that. You'd only need to spend 12 weeks, which is 3 months of the year, working, at least on YouTube. And that's the theory, at least. And you start getting that into practice, you start really understanding that less is more. Because you don't have to always be available. You don't always have to always be seen. There's a lot of channels out there too, man. These people got like, what do you call this, man? People got like thousands, tens of thousands of subscribers, and they only got like 5 videos on there. Because it's just the quality, man. That's the quality and the deprivation of, like, people. They'll see the few videos that are quality or they're funny or something like that, and they look forward to it. Like, okay, we look forward to seeing more. And they subscribe because they're waiting for that notification to get something brand new, because they know how scarce that shit is. So it depends what you're trying to do, man. I like to create a consistent library in history. There's times I take away from myself where I'm like, don't live stream this week. Don't live stream today. Don't live stream this week. Just keep away from everything and everyone. Just keep to yourself. And then I'll sit there and I'll think about it for a second, and I'll be deprived. Like, damn, I feel like I need to check in with the world, check in with the people. And then after like a week or 5 days, I'll just randomly get hit up with like 5 likes and all that shit. Get 5, 8 likes. And I mean the world sometimes, because there are days I be consistent and I'm getting like one like per stream, 2 likes per stream, and I'm like, yeah, they fuck with this, but at the same time, they ain't fucking with this. So that's what I'm getting to. But anyway, I say all that to say, that's what the whole channel's always been about, man. We just creating this, you know. This is, we back to the essence of the TTH, man. That's it. Back to the essence of the TTH, man. Hold on, man. That's what I got to write down. And then for the next one, I'll have a subject for y'all. So we'll go, all right, back to the essence. Right here. Because we really just troubleshooting and figured it out on the spot. That's the main thing. So, all right. And then when I do my 242, which is like right after this, we're going to buckle down, you know? Yep. There it is. Got the handy dandy notebook. We'll be back to the essence, man. This is what the Truancy Hour is supposed to be all the time, man. It's funny because I say this all the time. This is actually some advice for people I know that can't afford therapy. For people, some people it's like $50 to $100 per session, and that's like an hour-long session. And sometimes, when I be hearing that shit, it makes me want to become a therapist. I'm like, hold on, man, because I've done a lot of therapy sessions, dropping $100 per session. I used to have the one where I was $17 per session, which was dope. But the point I'm making is, like, shit, you do that enough times, you start realizing, hey, man, I put hundreds and hundreds of dollars in that shit. It's time for me to make my hundreds. So it makes me want to be a therapist. On the other hand, it's like, you put hundreds and hundreds of dollars into collecting, what I'm saying? Whether you collect cards, Beyblades, whatever it is, toys, things like that. And then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, I put all this money in that shit. I need to start making my own. If not, put money in that shit and then start flipping what it is you're buying. Because like I said, back to the, back to the sports stuff. You could sit there, defend your favorite team. You could fight about them all day. You can scrap about it all day. You could fight other people from other teams all day long, and nobody know who the fuck you are from them teams. Like, who the fuck is this random getting angry and whatever? They got a job to do. Their job is to play football. They got a job to do. Their job is to play baseball, basketball, whatever the fuck, whatever team that is. Their job is to play the thing, and then you're over here fighting and then getting banned from the stadium. Now you got to watch this shit from the house. You should have been watching it from the house the whole time if you can't handle your emotions and temper on the outside. But some people will spark some shit at you. You understand? Some people throw a fucking drink at your head. Some crazy ass shit. Goofy ass shit. People come here from out of town trying to enjoy the game, just watch their team enjoy the game, and then other fans want to fuck up the experience for them by just throwing shit at their head and being extra. Like, who gives a fuck about that shit, bro? You understand? Who cares about that bullshit? But it's the same thing. You're putting all your money into Pokemon. People will fight in line to get the new Pokemon release. Scalpers will fight each other. People who are trying to scalp, people who are tired of scalpers, they'll just sit there and fight with each other. And Pokemon Company don't give a fuck about none of y'all. Jordan don't care about no one that dies over the shoes. Michael Jordan don't care. about anybody that died trying to buy his shoes, standing in line or whatever the fuck. People bought the last pair of 10.5 Jordans and shit. You see the last person walking out, hey, let me get that box. They just snatch it and walk off like it's nothing. I'm like, that shit crazy. I seen that shit. There's videos like that. It's sad, and motherfucker gotta just stand there, and it's like, I ain't even mad at the motherfucker who stood there. I'm really not mad, because at the end of the day, what you gonna do? Crash out over some shoes, and it's gonna be a bigger predicament, and now people are scrapping and getting stabbed and shot over fucking shoes. And like I said, Michael Jordan ain't coming by to pay nobody's bills because you're a dedicated collector. You're a dedicated buyer of someone's brand. So at some point, it's like, when you gonna start doing your own thing? You understand? When you're gonna stop watching content and creating your own content? When are you gonna stop? That's why I never knock the people who did NFTs, because it's like, at the end of the day, despite how they're being created, people were tired of buying collectibles. They wanted to start creating their own. Very simple. There was no use case for it. But again, there's no, you look at the end of the day, you can battle and duel with Yu-Gi-Oh cards and Pokemon cards and Magic the Gathering and shit like that, Lorcana, Grand Archive, all that shit. But at the end of, One Piece, whatever. But it's like, you ain't making shit off of this. You just doing it for fun. So when are you going to start turning the fun into something you want to do, man? That's why I'm like, people should start documenting all their hobbies. Really think about it. Document all your hobbies, because when are you going to start buying your time back? You spend all that time doing this, that, and the third. And don't get me wrong, it's a fun experience with friends and family. A very fun experience with friends and family. But when are y'all going to start documenting it? Some people think like, I don't know, I'm too embarrassed to put myself on the internet. Shit, are you too embarrassed to get paid? Motherfuckers never be embarrassed to, take out the trash for other people, smell shit of other people, but they'll sit there and be embarrassed to just talk, be around family and friends. That's crazy. When you think about it, you're around family and friends, being the happiest person you can be because you guys are having a great time. I'm not saying you shouldn't document that. That's sacred. That's a sacred thing. So you shouldn't always document sacred things. But I will say, man, it's like, you got to be careful with that shit, because, bro, what the fuck? Like, your value now is like, I know a couple dudes, right? Whether it's the old job I used to work at or the one I'm currently at, man. Some people, I'm gonna talk about windows. Let's talk about these windows. You see, boom, boom. You got this window, you got that window. Let's talk about it, man, because I've been at jobs where there ain't no windows, and they just talk to each other all day, and they gossip about bullshit, and they look at the internet, and they get influenced by all the wrong things. And in rumors, they just trust what's happening in front of them because they don't know how to live outside of themselves. Some people don't have a life outside of work. You understand? Some people don't have a healthy life outside of work. And it's so detrimental to the point that when they come to work, they can't wait to hear all the bullshit happening in someone else's life or someone else's household, someone else's marriage, or something that's happening within the workplace. Like, oh, this relationship right there. Oh, that lady cheated on her husband with the dude working over here in this department, all this bullshit. And it's always people from departments that don't have windows. You understand? I used to be in a linen department. We didn't have windows, but we were always moving around. We always moved around the whole campus, the whole different towers and buildings and shit. I'm always looking out the window. I'm always talking to other people, just conversing. But you always got to have some windows around you. I know some people right now, they work in a warehouse. It's a loading dock. They got the loading dock. All you're smelling is the fucking, the gas from the trucks. 16, 18 wheelers, whatever the fuck. Just smelling gas from the trucks on the right side. And then on the left side, you're just smelling recycle and garbage and compost. And the motherfuckers just sit there on the phone all day waiting for shit to happen. They sit on the walkie-talkie waiting for shit to happen 7 to 8 hours a day. And you just smelling that shit. I ain't gonna say that they're getting funky, but your mental getting real funky, man. Motherfucker, get a window. Get a fucking window. Go see some sunlight. Go see some sunlight. Go see some birds flying around. Go look at a tree. Go look at a tree this winter. You know what I'm saying? And watch the leaves regrow. Watch the leaves fall down. Watch the leaves regrow come spring. Like, just look at some shit. Motherfuckers need windows. We need to be able to look at nature. We need to be able to see the lush greenness of a tree, like an evergreen tree that doesn't change any season. Just shit like that. I need to see that. Motherfuckers be living in the desert. Go outside and look at a vulture. Go look at a vulture in the eye. Go look at a fucking coyote, or just stare at a cactus, bro. Go look at some nature, bro. So some people just be real negative, and then the shit just keeps recycling itself because you keep okaying the behavior. Social media make it sound cool to be nonchalant. You know what I'm saying? To be stoic about shit, and it keeps enforcing this fake cool behavior. It's like, motherfuckers ain't never been cool. That's why you're looking for reasons to be cool. That's why you're looking for examples to be cool, because you've never been cool. It's time to get cool by looking at nature, man. Go outside into the cool weather. Look at some nature, bro. Go look at some fucking trees. Get some sunlight. It's wintertime right now. This is being recorded in the wintertime. This is 17th of January. You see all that light coming through the window? These are some black blinds. These are blacked out blinds that are meant to block out the sunlight that come through the window, that come out the east or whatever. That's, now it's south. It blocks it out so that way there's not so much glare coming through when people are here in the conference and study rooms and shit. That's a blacked out window, and you can still see all that light right there. I could turn off the lights right here. Let me walk over and turn off the lights, and then you'll see what I'm talking about. You'll see what the fuck I'm talking about. We still attached to the mic too. Mic still attached. Hold on, who we got up in here? We go with you. We got nobody. Damn. Your boy be feeling more important than he is. Hold on, let's see. Tell me what that look like. Tell me what that's looking like. Then I'm gonna walk back over and turn the lights back on. Well, yeah, them places, man, you be getting some of the most negative people, man. So yeah, the light, you see that shit? That's the light source, man. It's still hella bright, just like right through there. We turn off the lights, it's looking like this. It's crazy. It's crazy, ain't it? Well, people need to do that more often, man. And like I say, man, the reason why I say this is because, for me, it's like, all right, I can't afford to keep going to that therapeutic shit every month, every 2 weeks. And then when I was able to, or when I was going to commit to it, the lady I realized I should probably stop fucking with her because she kept canceling on me without warning. I'm like, you know what, man? I don't need that shit. I need something a little consistent, reliable, things like that. And she wasn't. She just wasn't. So that's my thing right there. But yeah, man. People without windows, man. Get them windows in, bro. Windows. That's it, bro. Windows, man. Windows to the soul, window, etc. But yeah, man. That's kind of where I'm at with this, bro. That's where I've been with all this shit right here. I'm going to leave it at that, bro. I'm going to leave it at that. Let me see. Anything else I'm going to touch base on? I feel like I was trying to get to a certain point, but I don't know if I necessarily touch base on it. But yeah, man, just start doing for yourself, man. That's why some people be so negative. When it's time to really do for themselves, that's the thing. They feel like the most productive thing they can do all day is just sit around in a spot with no windows, getting paid per hour. And then what are they doing per hour? They're watching shit that just keeps them more distracted. They're not like, they're not doing schoolwork or doing things that get shit done or whatever. Just do shit, man. Just do shit for yourself, man. Do better for yourself, man. All the time, every time. Just keep doing better for yourself. That's it. That's all I can really leave you with, man. I might leave it at that, man. I feel like I touched base on enough of that. Here, let me put this away. But yeah. All right, y'all. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to wrap up here. Well, not necessarily here. I got more to do. But, place a couple calls, see what's going on. From there, get it cracking. But there it is, man. TTH, the Truancy Hour. 241. All right. I'm gonna try to stay a little locked in and focused now on just kind of keeping consistent conversation just in general. And I gotta get used, man. I'm used to being this close to the phone, but because it's vertical, like everything's there, but I gotta be at a different distance now. But hey, man, there it is. Hopefully all this, I'm hoping the mic was connected well. I did a mic check, so I hope everything is good, man. But we'll see when I check the recording. Hey, man, love y'all. Appreciate y'all, man. Peace. I'm out.